What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we've already covered the Unreasonable Man stuff a couple of times, so I don't really feel like going over that. Just no point in it. So at the end of the day, I think that one of the interesting things that I have going on is a lot of different things that are distracting me. Josie, shut up for a minute. Um, stand by. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what you're talking about, Josie. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, Josie, we can talk about that. Yeah, that's actually a good thing to talk about. So, yeah, I don't, that's, I think you're right about that. I thought I went a little hard there, but, it is what it is. And I just I didn't really care. I knew I went hard on that deal. I did. I kind of meant to. Um, it's just what I think. And it may get me demonetized. It may get me banned or whatever, but, fuck it, whatever. All right. Well, now that the drama's over and I know that the stream is working and everything is going along pretty good, we're going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about a buddy of mine. And it's always interesting this time of year. It's Valentine's Day. Today is Valentine's Day. I got some stuff going on, and I had a fucking I had some bullshit go on. I ordered a really, what I really thought was like a super cute deal for my wife, and the 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 fucking floor is fucked up. This is something that's really weird, right? Like, you pay money, don't argue the price, fill everything out, and for some reason, in my case, what happened is somehow the um, zip code for the recipient ended up it put my it put the zip code of the sender in there. I don't know why that happened, but I know that I hand entered the correct zip code because my wife's office is not in my zip code, so I have to hand enter it. It just doesn't auto populate. So this morning I checked the order because I haven't seen any tracking. I haven't heard anything. There's nothing going on. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I get online, I track it. It's fucked up. I try and fix it. I'm annoyed because now it's later in the day and whatever. And I kid you not, I have to leave, right? I have to go do something. Well, I went and flew, right? When I had the flight today, so I went out, I got in a plane, flew around for a little while. And I get back to the message on my computer saying that, yeah, sorry, the order was canceled because of the wrong zip code. It kicked back. Fuck. Like, this was the dumbest shit ever. And the thing is that I actually had gone through this particular service um, last year. They did great. And I switched to them because when I would call the local guys, um, where my wife is, the surcharge was ridiculous. Like, it was dumb. Like, it was fucked up. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And I just didn't want to have to deal with it. So what I did is, you know, I just basically, I sent my wife a message, said, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I fucked up, and there's nothing I can really do about it. It just is what it is." Of course, she understood. She's not stupid or anything, so she understood what was going on, and it worked out okay. But at the end of the day, it was kind of bullshit. Um, yeah, thanks, man. Uh, um, so yeah, so at the end of the day, it was fucked up. So that set the tone, and then on the other side of this, we just it's bad enough, not being together on Valentine's Day to begin with, right? Like that's tough. But to have something fucked up like that kind of pissed me off today. So we're already starting out on a winter. And then there's this dude. I'm going to tell you the story. You're not going to fucking believe me. You're going to think I'm fucking up and just lying to you. You're going to think, no shit, that I'm just literally bullshitting you, and and that there's no way that what I'm telling you is real, right? Like, you're just it's just the way it is. You're not going to believe me. And but it is 100% accurate, whatever. And so the I have a buddy of mine. The has this house at this. All right, so this dude starts out. He has a house. He's a pretty good job, car, all that kind of stuff. Making pretty decent money. He's never been married. Um, and the dude's kind of fucked up, right? Like I should lead off with this part of it. Like, this guy has nobody on this earth, right? His brother um, committed suicide a few years back. His mom passed. His dad passed first, and then his mom passed, and he had to sell all her house and all of her belongings and all that stuff. I had to get. I mean, I had to just been an emotional shit show. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the what this poor guy went through, man. Like, I just can't. So I kind of get, I've known the guy for a number of years. We're not friends. I should say right out of the gate that we're not friends. We're not buddies. We don't hang out together. Basically, um, he's a car guy. I'm a car guy. I've helped him out. He's helped me out. And as men, sometimes that's all we really need, right? That's all we really need in life to be like really cool with each other is, that we just happen to be kind of the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is. So anyway, so I helped this guy out, and he's a really cool dude. And I get, as we're talking, um, as a lot of people do, he asked me some financial advice, right? Like, he's saying, and one of the things that he was about to do was he was about to sell his house, and which I thought was a terrible idea at the time. The market was going the wrong direction. He was going to be very lucky, and now I should preface this by saying that his house was paid for. Like, no bullshit. His house was absolutely, he had a condo, not a house, but he had, he had a paid for condo, very low property taxes, and for a single guy, it was kind of a it was kind of the right deal. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of the right thing. And so he meets this girl through at the gym, right? He goes through this period of life where, he's kind of fucked up. He's got some shit going on, and he um meets this girl. She's cool, right? Starts out really cool, and her, her gig is that, she's hot. She um doesn't have a career, right? But she's wanting to try and be a realtor. She's gone to school. She's getting a realtor's license, all this bullshit. And she somehow convinces my buddy to sell his paid for house to then turn around and move in with her into a very expensive place in Nashville. Something along the lines of like 4 grand a month. You know what I mean? Like, like no kidding. Like this is a real it's a real fucking problem. And and so he he buys this or pardon me, he rents this so he goes from owning to renting, and he goes to he's renting like not the most expensive place he could rent in Nashville, but man, it's just a lot of money. And he quit his job where he had been employed for a while. He had a good gig going on, and you know, i- he's kind of, legit. He's kind of got shit going his way, and he gives it all up for this fucking woman, all of it. And what does she bring to the table? Jack shit. She brings jack shit to the table. So she never did actually sell another house after she sold his. I think she did some showings or something, but I don't think she showed. I don't think she sold a house at all the entire time that I was aware of her being in his life. Um, and then she was doing some other stuff, whatever, girl shit, whatever. And, maybe a fitness trainer girl thing. I don't know, whatever. But the important part of the story, she starts drinking. She starts drinking, and she's got a kid. I should also say that she has a kid. She has a kid that, um, obviously, a kid has a father, right? And he has, that kid's dad apparently is not a bad guy, right? Like apparently he's a pretty good guy, and he's just not in the picture, right? I mean, and I don't know if that's, I don't know how much he's in the picture. I really don't. I don't know what the fuck. But the kid's there, and she uses this kid against my bud over and over and over again. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's just crazy. So fast forward a few months, and she starts drinking, you know, and then she starts day drinking, as chicks do. And then she starts cheating on him, and he knows, right? Like he doesn't know, but he has that feeling. You know what I'm saying? He kind of knows. So my boy he's a car guy, right? So my boy is like, "Hey man, what do you think I should do about this?" Well, I told him not to sell his house. He sold his house. So at the time I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Are you going to listen to me?" Um, you know, Probably not, but I'll tell you anyway. All right. So I told him, I'm like, "Look, man, you got to get your shit right. I mean, this chick is obviously toxic. If she's drinking and fucking other dudes, she's not the one for you. Cut that shit out." Well, he doesn't do that. No, no, no. Now that dumb son bitch stays there. He does. Of course, he really doesn't have anywhere else to go. And then I'm talking to him, and they're fighting apparently. I don't know this for a fact. Now here's the thing, I don't know. I only have his side of this. I don't know how really truly aggressive she got with him. I just have his side of the story. And so when we're listening, when you're listening to me say this, that I only have one side of the story, but I believe 80% he's, that was legit. So, um, he is burned through. He's burned through in a year. He burns through about 130 grand, and he doesn't really, and he's working. So not only does he is he burning through all the money from the sale of his house, he's burning through every dime he makes while bitch tits sits on her ass and gets drunk and fucks other dudes. Now he doesn't actually know that she's fucking other dudes at this point. He just thinks that. He doesn't know that for sure. I was pretty fucking sure. And he's talking to me about this, and I'm being a good dude, right? I'm like, hey man, whatever you need, you need a place to stay, whatever. I got you, bro. So he calls me up one night, dude. This chick's off the rails. He's like, I came home, you know, I I don't normally do it, but I parked in the back. I see some dude walking around, out of my house, going around the back of the house, where you wouldn't be seen if he had pulled in the front door in the front driveway. And so he's like, I think she's fucking that dude. He's like, I just pretty damn sure now that she's cheating on me. Like I thought I knew before, but now I'm pretty fucking sure. I'm like, all right, cool. What do you want to do about it? I don't know, man. I'm like, well, listen, here's the thing. You either have to get the fuck out, or you can stay there, and you can risk bitch tits, you know, pulling some shit and sending your ass to jail. Because that's what women do. They don't like to talk about it. They like to bullshit and cover it up and not really dig into it. But what happens when a dude breaks up with a woman is he fucking leaves, goes somewhere else. Woman breaks up with a dude, she not only stays there to make you leave, but if you stay there and she gets pissed at you, you're going to fucking jail. I'm just telling you right now. And because they'll call the fucking cops and they will lie through their fucking teeth, as Johnny Depp found out. So I told him, like, dude, you got to get out of there. Your choice. You want to go to jail? If you got money for bail, I don't know. But what you can do is you can use my lake house, go down there for a few days, take a load off, get the fuck away from that bitch. And he does. And then he seems like he's broken that stranglehold she has on his dick. And it seems like that he is finally free of bitch tits. But we're wrong. He's not. So, what's actually happening is um he moves out. The lease is up, they move out. I actually fronted him some money so that he would be he'd be able to, not have to sleep in his car, right? Get a place, that kind of thing. And I help him get a job, help him move on with his life. And I thought this whole fucking episode was behind him. The I was wrong about that. And I may have to take a commercial break here for a moment. I've got people in my house making noise. We're going to pause for station identification. I'll be right back. If I can pause for station identification. Well, maybe not. Maybe I won't bother. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. What the fuck's going on? So this is a thing when you have house guests. They're fucking rude. Yeah, Strana M, dude, I see that, man. You know, you're right. I think you're right about that. He's had horrible luck with women. He is literally a fucking doormat. And I've tried to help him out. I've tried to get him set up and doing things the right way. And I'm just telling you right now that he is he's just not there, man. I'm gonna give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. I gotta take care of something. 1 sec. All right. Sorry. Okay. Problem scarcity. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, it's not just scarcity. Okay. It's the fact that he's had such horrible luck with women, as I said. And, women, we like to talk about women like they have some fucking clue, right? Like they have, I don't know how you'd say it, like women are, uh, but we're going to get to that. Hang on. I'm going to get to that. Um, he's just been honestly, I really feel like he's been a doormat his whole life. And I really tried to help him out. And, and I thought I had. So I thought, got him a job, talked to him man to man, tried to man him up a little, get him free of this fucking soul sucker 2000, Pardon me. And, you know, and I thought it was over. And then, so I find this dude a job, right? Find this dude a job and he's rolling along. And then I come to find out that this motherfucker is eating goddamn crackers, bro. Like doesn't have enough money to eat actual fucking food. He's eating crackers for lunch. He's literally out of the lunchroom at his office, right? And and he doesn't have money for food because he's giving it to bitch tits who uses her fucking kid against him. I kid you not, dude. She literally will tell, oh, my ex isn't giving me any money for food, so I really got to have some money. Can you help me out? I'm like, what the fuck? No, you can't help her out. You've got to borrow money for you to live. How are you giving this harpy, this soul sucker, the fucking death knell? How the fuck are you giving him or her money? I couldn't believe it. Literally couldn't believe it. It was like, I kid you not. I I was shocked. And then I thought the final straw happened. I thought the final straw happened. I Because he's at work one day, gets really sick, goes to the hospital, has to have an emergency appendectomy, appendix burst or whatever. And she is such a horrible bitch that the nurses removed her from his room because she was calling him an ungrateful piece of shit. He wasn't worth anything. Just all of this bullshit. And I thought it was over then. I really did. But I was wrong. Today, as I'm kind of aggravated about the whole florist thing and Not not the it wasn't a bad day, but little bullshit going on. As I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, the day really can't get any fucking worse. I was wrong. That motherfucker posts pictures in the social media of those two holding hands and telling what a great fucking woman she is. And that right there is why women have the reputations they have. Because there's there's nothing good about that relationship. It just isn't. Right. He's not going to be a father to that child. That kid has a dad. That kid's like 12 years old. I mean, he knows his dad. So you're not going to be the dad. You you're probably going to pay for a lot of shit for that kid. You're not his dad. You're probably not going to have a kid with that chick unless she wants you to trap your ass more. But she doesn't want any more kids. She wants to go get drunk. She's still living hot girl summer in her fucking 30s. She's fucking fake as shit. She probably spends more time in the gym than I spend doing anything else. Which, I hope nobody feels personally attacked about that. But, can't live your ass in a gym. Get out and fucking live. And yeah, it was some fucked up shit, man. And this is why, dudes are fucked up, man. Because there are other dudes that are looking at him going, holy fuck, that could be me. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully, everything does work out. I mean, I know I'm really sounding like a fucking dick here, but experience has shown me that this shit just doesn't work, man. It just doesn't. It can't. And and this is why I think a lot of men just pretty much automatically assume women are evil. Like literally just fucking evil. Like do not pass go. Don't pass $200. Don't collect $200. Just fucking don't do it. Um yeah. So all right. Anyway, enough about my friend. I really feel sad for him. I really feel like that. In a way, I kind of feel like I let him down. You know what I mean? Like I wish I was a fucking better role model. I guess I don't know. Whatever. Um. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So let's move on, shall we? And move on to something else. Some good shit. Some shit that doesn't suck. How about we talk about? How about we just keep talking about fucked up women and talk about promiscuity and OF and all that shit, right? Why don't we talk about that? That sounds like a good thing to talk about. So last night on a certain podcast that I listen to quite a bit, participate in on occasion, the at the end of the day, I feel like we all know which one it is. So last night I'm watching, I watched longer than I should have. I had to fly today and I should have gotten some better sleep, but I decided to watch this podcast and there's literally like the I'm not saying they're like ugly, but not attractive women. Um um hang on. All right, I'm being interrupted. I apologize at one and all that this is a fucking shitty ass stream right here. I tell you what. Um. All right, so back at it. Sorry, I had to rescue more people. All right, take these fucking things off. Where the fuck was? Oh, promiscuous women and OF. Mm, fucking great subject. It's a fucking novel that writes itself. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that inevitably happens when we start talking about promiscuous women is somehow they have to come back to promiscuous men and how men should not be promiscuous in the same way that women are, and you shouldn't expect um, you shouldn't expect a low body count if you have a high body count, and it's an interesting thing. You know what I mean? It's an interesting dynamic because men and women are not the fucking same. And we never have been, we're never going to be. And anybody that lives in whatever fucked up world in their head that they live in that think that men and women are the same are fucked up. And you need to do better. You need to get some help. You need to do something because you are wrong. And and unfortunately, not enough of those people are going to hear somebody like me say that. And they're just going to keep being wrong their whole fucking life, um, which is sad. It's nothing but sad because you should never be that fucking wrong. Now, the the thing about being promiscuous as a man is, in general, I don't have a feeling one way or the other about it. Okay, in general, if some woman wants to talk to me about, or, she wants a dude with a low body count. Fuck, I can't talk. She wants some dude with a low body count. Awesome. Go find him. They're out there. They're honestly, there are more dudes that have never had sex than women that have never had sex, and that's a fucking fact, Jack. And if you want a low body count dude, you can fucking find one. Guaranteed. So, however, that dude may have lack some social graces. He may not be the best earner out there, although he may be a super high earner. The that pendulum swings both ways. So, um, but chances are, if you are a you know pretty decent looking female, and maybe you got a little bit of game of your own, because most women don't have game. Now let's all just be honest and say that women's idea of game is waiting 10 minutes to spread their legs. I mean, let's just be honest about that. Women do not have game. I've never met a woman that had what I considered game. Sexual, yes. Sensual, yes. But game, fuck no. They know. They know you fucking want 'em. They know they know all they have to do is smile, tilt their head, give you the look, and you're a dude. I mean, shooting fish in a barrel doesn't quite cover it. It really doesn't. So, yeah. So women don't have game. Women have never had game. They're never gonna have game. Mm-mm. Not even lesbian women have game. I've actually been out with friends and watched a lesbian woman hit on another lesbian woman, or just a woman. I assume she's lesbian. I don't know, but I have to assume that. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I gotta be honest with you. I was embarrassed for her. Like it was dumb. So if you're a if you're a woman, you don't have any game, but you've had a lot of game thrown at you. Guaranteed. You have dudes banging down the doors of your DMs. You have guys crossing the street to check out your ass. You know it. And you know you for a girl to say otherwise that they don't know it is disingenuous at best and outright fucking lying in reality. Cuz you know it. I mean, fuck, I mean, come on. Let's just be honest. The theme of this show today needs to be let's just be fucking honest, dudes. Let's just go. Let's just be real about it. Let's not bullshit. So, for a dude to have game, he's had to have been turned down a bunch of fucking times. Where he watched a lot of damn movies, one or the other. I'm just telling you right now. There's no way a dude has good game without that, you know? It just doesn't work. So, pardon me. So if you're gonna, if you're gonna look at it, you know, as a woman and you're looking for a low body count and you're looking for all of this stuff, you're absolutely wrong. You just are. Um, I mean, you go, dude. Seriously, go find a virgin dude. Dime a dozen. Not hard to find. You know. Um, but more than likely, you're gonna want a dude that knows what he's doing, has some riz, and that dude's gonna have bodies. And speaking from my own experience, my own life, if you will, at without even bullshitting a little bit, I'm pretty obviously, to be honest with you, and this is kind of embarrassing. I don't actually remember all the girls I slept with, but I remember most of them, and I'm pretty close to that triple digit mark. And there's a there's a little bit of regret that goes along with that, but for the most part, I don't think I really regret it. However, um, the at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. I did it. It is what it is. That's it. So, um, you know, I don't. I make no apologies. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Um, anyway, the high body count dudes get a bad rap from low body count dudes and normal motherfuckers that want to say that they are going to tend to cheat. I never cheated, and that's something, and I don't know that anybody, look, hey, I was a weird dude. Okay. I know for a fact that I was not typical, not the typical dude, can't bullshit and say otherwise. Once I got out of high school, right? And I kind of realized, because you're in high school, basically every girl you talk to has a low body count, right? Or well, not everyone, but the vast majority should have a low body count when I was in school. Maybe not when you guys are in school. You guys have a whole different dynamic than I do. However, um, you get into college and you start running into chicks with like some pretty respectable body counts. And we didn't call it that back then. And after I graduated high school, I made a conscious decision that first of all, I wasn't going to get married. I didn't want to get married. I saw no upside in it for me. I was poor. right? And my family struggled my entire young life with being poor, and I did not want to be poor alongside somebody that I loved and cared for. To me, that seemed like the most terrible thing ever, right? Um, and so I dated, and I use this expression all the time: is that you got to date with intent, you know, date to be a boyfriend. Okay, that's one intent. Date to get fucked. That's also an intent. I talked about it in my last video. I talked, and I'll talk about it more. Um, Promiscuity in men is totally different than promiscuity in women. And there's totally different motivations behind it, and there's totally different results mentally behind it. Men will never feel fucked up that they fucked too many women. A woman will feel fucked up if she's fucked one or two too many men. Okay. Guaranteed. Right? Like they all talk about, well, I regret this. Well, I regret that. I've never heard a man say, "Yeah, I regret fucking those 15 broads." Never. Mm-mm. They might say, well, probably my best decision, but hey, it's fun at the time, you know? So I think that, there's um, I think that every time I hear this bullshit about, um, promiscuity in men, and it's usually, really oddly, it's usually by what I consider half trads or whatever, half conservatives that are really not conservatives. They're basically one step away from being a liberal, right? Like they're just right there. They're right on the edge. Wouldn't take much to make them liberal. Anyway, so yeah. And I just don't think that when we talk about this, um, I don't think it's productive. You know what I mean? I don't think it's productive. It probably makes the girls feel better because, oh, it's bad for men just like it's bad for women. I don't think it's bad for men. The only thing that's bad for men, that literally the only downside for men is the risk of fucking disease and your dick falling off. That's it. Oh, and getting chicks pregnant. That's a bad one. Don't do that. Um, so I'm going to move on from there. Um, what else can we talk about? You guys still awake? This is a little different. It's going to take some. It's going to take some getting used to the live format. I can't say that I'm like super. Um, I don't know, super, whatever, into it. But yeah, we'll see how that works out. We'll see how this works out. It should be okay. Um, all right. So, what about that dude last night with a porn addiction thing? What you guys think about that? The in my mind, the whole porn addiction thing is just crazy. Um, I don't have a particularly addictive personality in that way. Um, but I can kind of see how a dude could get addicted to pornography, but the way that they're talking about it affecting their lives is kind of crazy, right? It's kind of nuts. Um, and think that um, I think at the end of the day, you think it's a grift. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. I mean, it could be. Look, I know guys that have um I know guys that get caught at work watching porn on their work computers, right? We've all known have we all known that guy? Do we all know that guy that like has for whatever reason just sunk so deep into the porn world? So there's this kid that worked for me once. His name was Austin. Yeah, Austin. Tall kid, pretty good looking. Actually, he dated really hot chicks. And to be honest with you, he had this thing for like super thin, needy ass, dark haired goth chicks, right? Like that was his fucking jam. No shit. And but that dude, we were talking one day, just I was talking about something about my computer or something like that. Like I was like adding a new hard drive or something, and dude was like, I got like half a terabyte of porn and two hard drives or whatever the fuck it was back then. And I was like, the fuck did you just say? Like, dude, that's a bunch of fucking porn, right? Like, what the fuck? But now I think, yeah, I don't know how deep he was into it, but damn, son, like that's a shit ton. Fuck, can't even get there from here. Fuck. But I do know, I mean, I know, I know a bunch of dudes that have really fucked up things, man. And we could talk all day about, we could talk all day about the way dudes are fucked up. I know guys that, no kidding, they don't give two fucks about anything until after they've, had a couple of beers, had a couple of drinks at night. Like, they don't even want to talk to their wives. I don't even know why they're married. Maybe it's just because they're used to it or whatever. People can do all kinds of bullshit, but I don't know. I think that men can be fucked up in so many ways, right? And like in this sort of format, I try to really be an advocate for men, right? Um, my whole life. So actually, let me back up. So my younger years, I don't often talk about this because it's ancient fucking history, but so my in my um in my early years, I had I had a problem with authority, shocker. Um, and I went to a military school, and it gives you a very specific personality and a very interesting way of looking at the world. And we had for a little while, we had this lady that was like, I don't know what her real position was. It's probably like some kind of counselor, or I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, so she interviewed me a couple of times. Um Actually, I think she was, cuz okay, so I'm trying to remember, cuz this was back in like the early 90s, or no. This was like late 80s, right? Yeah, it had to be late 80s. And there was a lot of private schools and military schools that were being investigated because, for all kinds of allegations of abuse and all kinds of bullshit. And hey, I saw some of it. I'm not gonna lie. There were, we had staff that, honestly, I had no idea why they fucking worked there, because they fucking hated kids. You know what I'm saying? But there were good guys there too. But there were definitely some bad ones, right? So I had this. So I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and there's no guarantee I am. It's been, almost 30 fucking years, but this lady was from the state, and she was there as kind of a liaison, so that, if kids were having problems, if there was an issue, that they got the help they need, right? Like they always say that, right? And we all had to talk with her a couple of times a year. And so I remember sitting down with her once and talking to her, and I must have been kind of pissed about something, or maybe I was just annoyed that I had to come talk to this chick instead of what I should have been doing, which is whatever was way more important to my education and what at that time was my reality. And she actually told me that she had put in her report that I had a problem with women and that I needed to work on that. I guess because I was smart with her and I was probably really short with her and I probably I don't remember doing it, but my guess is I told her that she was basically wasting everyone's time, especially mine, and I needed to go get shit done. Um and I don't think she appreciated that kind of thing because that sounds like what I would. I mean, that's basically what I would have said. I don't actually remember. It's been a long time, but I do remember her telling me that I had a problem with women, and that kind of haunted me for the rest of my years there in my military school. They were, that was in my file that I had a problem with women in authority, which was wrong. Anyway, so you have that kind of bullshit. So there are men out there that have issues, and I had or perceived issues. Look, but because it happened to me, I kind of want to be an advocate for men, especially young men. I have two sons, and I've seen my older son jacked around in school because he's a dude, right? Like, well, I don't want to get into it. Maybe a little bit. So last year, my there was a problem with my kid on the bus, and these two girls told on him. Now, I want to tell you something that's really fucked up. This is like this makes me hot every time. So I had always told my son that you can never trust little girls ever. You can never trust little girls. You you can never be alone with a little girl, and you can especially never be alone with two little girls. Two little girls will lie for the other one, guaranteed, and they will burn your ass. And they will accuse you of all kinds of things if they take a mind to, and you are fucked because everyone believes little girls. So my oldest son, his dumbass, has this game on his phone that has some firearm stuff on it, and basically you could tune the cyclic rate of various automatics and test it and see if and the physics of the gun were I mean, the physics of the program were pretty good, and it allowed him to kind of tinker with the engineering of these things um you know in his free time when he was bored. And these girls reported that he was pointing his phone like a gun at other kids. And that set off a ton of bullshit for no fucking reason other than that he's a dude. Other kids were doing kind of the same thing, but they weren't dudes, if you get my meaning. So, we had to sort that out. This was actually 2 years ago, but we had to sort that out, had to um make amends, if you will. And we just really had to, it was a big that was bad, man. I mean, it's private school, so they're but dudes are fucked in today's society, you know. Um, we just are. And the more we step aside, the more fucked we are. And we're really fucked in dating, you know. We're really, really fucked in dating now. I weep for my young men who are going out into the dating marketplace and just getting fucked over. So Yeah, I think that they did make a lot of money. I'm looking at your comment there. I think they did. I think I went to sleep before they came out and said that, but um, it was interesting because I thought it was a bullshit move that that chick came out live and said that you know that he couldn't get it up on their wedding night and all that bullshit. And it and at first I was like, that seems like a little bit like she kind of ambushed him because he was being like really cold. He didn't put his arm around her. He didn't. He really didn't do shit. He just kind of like sat there, right? Like he just was kind of like fuck, and he was kind of cold even, right? So I think you could probably go back and read my comments where I said I don't think he was expecting that. But then Kath was saying that that's kind of part of their shtick, and I think it is. And so then I felt like, well, this is just total bullshit. This is um, there's no way that this is real, right? Like, and once I determine something's not real, I just don't give a fuck anymore. There's just no point in it. Um, the if there's a um, there just isn't. There's no point in it. And it's sad. It's just sad. It's sad that she felt like she had to kind of be that way. But whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe we should talk money. Kind of getting bored here. Kind of boring everyone else too. Kind of boring you guys to tears. Um, money, or we could talk cool stuff. Went flying today. Flying is cool. Flying is actually really easy. I think it's actually easier to learn how to fly um, than it is really to drive a car. Um, it it has to be done a certain way, so it's not. I it's fairly easy for me to fly. It is what it is. Yeah, but I flew for an hour today, a little over. Did some maneuvers, had some fun. It's a good time. Um, the hardest part is takeoff and landing. You know what? Takeoff is actually easy. The plane will fucking fly itself right off the runway. It's no problem at all. The landings are landings are actually pretty easy if you do them right, if you're taught to do them right. But I tell you what, um, I struggled with landings because of a poor instructor. And so when I hear people say that, well, they struggled with landings or their buddy struggled with landings, I immediately think they need to change instructors. Immediately, like number 1. Like that's like the big thing. So, um yeah, but yeah, the rest of it, is pretty easy. Um there are some things I think that I mean I like flying because I think that it's you have to do it right. I mean, you can slop it a little bit, but for the most part, you just if you do it right, man, it's easy and it's fun. It's cool. It's nice. And probably tomorrow I'm going to be out on the lake. Gonna go do some fishing. I got to tune up some electronics and stuff, but we're gonna have some good times there. I've got the we got the big podcast that I'm such a big supporter of uh, coming back up, and it's interesting how Brian's having all these problems with money, not making it to his account the way it should be, and all this other stuff. It's you kind of feel like he's targeted, right? You have to kind of feel like that it's just they just have had enough. They've had enough of Brian being any kind of successful. You know what I mean? So who knows? All right, let's see. We got anything else worth talking about here? This is interesting. I feel like I need to tighten this up quite a bit. The kind of rambled a little bit more than I do normally when I'm doing cool stuff, chatting or whatever. Um, but that's okay. Um, Before I close out, I want to talk about something that I use a lot of quotes. Right? I don't know if you guys have noticed that in the TTS that I post and and in the podcast that I do. Um, in general, I think that I'm not smart enough to be the first person to say something. So I try to, if I know who said it first, I like to credit them, right? And but I really don't know who said this first. Um, I heard it originally from a staff member um, at my military school, and he said it all the time. And it's fear is the spare change that will keep you broke. And I think that's a really interesting message because if if you think about fear as you know this thing that you carry around in your pocket with you, right? Like you would spare change. Well, not anymore. We all carry credit cards, but back in the old days, we carry spare change around. And so when you're carrying that around with you, and you just constantly have this fear, right? You have a fear of failure, you have a fear of girls, you have a fear of asking girls for anything, you have a fear of a girl actually saying yes to going out on a date with you, you have a fear of you know some other dude that likes her beating your ass. Whatever you have a fear of, that's a real thing, right? So, but if you don't do it, if you don't go over and ask that girl out, if you don't take that bus to nowhere, if you don't take a chance to go to a job interview, if you don't do these things, you get nowhere. You're broke. You stay broke. You don't get the job, you don't get the girl, you don't get the car ride, you don't meet the famous person that you always wanted to meet. And in my life, I apologize for coughing. I don't know what's going on. In my life, it's not that I have no fear. It's just that I don't allow the fear to stop me from doing the things that I really want to do. I actually have a very healthy fear, to be honest with you. And I think a good healthy fear is a good thing. Like I study airplane crashes because I don't want to die in an airplane crash. I know a lot about the engineering of aircraft because I don't want my airplane to fall out of the air. I really didn't like getting turned down by girls, so I really, really, really took the time to at least attempt to understand them and, you know, learn how to talk to them. And, it's paid off in my life. And I think that for most people, you know, it's probably worth thinking about that fear that you keep in your pocket that keeps you broke. Because you probably are. You probably carry these little fears around with you. You know, here's a fear, there's a fear, there's another fear. And those fears just keep you broke. You can't make the payment. Can't make it happen. Well, that's about all I'm going to say for this evening. One thing I will share with you guys, if you were looking, and because I know some of us actually still read, right? I do. I read all the time, and there's a couple of really good books. The one I'm gonna that I've read recently and or have reread, and I want to and unfortunately I didn't bring it over here with me. Um, there's a book by a man named Capstick, Peter Hathaway Capstick. He was a stockbroker in New York who decided to go to deepest, darkest Africa and become a big game guide, a professional hunter. And he did. He did that. He had no fear. His fear did not keep him broke. He became wealthy in knowledge and many other things. And Capstick was he's he was badder ass than Hemingway, dude. I mean, this guy fucking lived. And he's written a bunch of really good books. There are two, Death in the Long Grass and Man Eaters, that are well worth the read. You will probably have trouble sleeping or going into the woods after you read them, because it is his storytelling is just amazing. And they're great books, and I really recommend you guys, better yourselves, read a little bit. I do believe that you can get those on Amazon Prime, so you don't actually have to buy a book. You can just download it on your device and read it there. So as always, I am um, going to go back and review this, my game film, if you will. First time I've been live. I don't know that it was a failure per se, and some technical difficulties at the beginning. Some minor bullshit in the middle, but overall, I can give it a C minus. You know, yeah, give it a C minus. Probably shouldn't be using a knife as a pointer, and the cough isn't helping. And I kind of rambled. Could have done better, but not bad. I'm gonna give it a C minus. We're gonna try for a B on the next one. I think maybe I'll do a live stream. Maybe I'll do another one Saturday night. Saturday night's all right for fighting, right? Well, maybe I can get somebody to come on and debate with me, or yell back and forth, or maybe maybe I can tap into Discord or something and get some of the Discord spies to come out and play and say good stuff. But hey, guys, I really appreciate the one or two of you that actually stayed and listened and had some things to say. Personally, I really enjoy this stuff. It's a good time for me, and it's yeah, it's good times. I'd really need to get someone to comment back and forth with, because when I'm left to my own devices, I can go down some serious rabbit holes. So, but yeah, all right. So I think that's where we're gonna end this bad boy, and yeah, we'll call it an evening. You guys, be better, get some help, let the patriarchy help you if you need it.